Hey guys, Drew here, back with another video, and welcome to another video talking regiment. And I'm just gonna say for the record, this may be one of the most hardest videos I've ever made. Just folding up the lines, just putting it together is extremely difficult. There were some players that got left out of this lineup that I'm sure you could argue could be like close to the top of the list, top of the line. But some of them I just didn't see that like they were good enough to fit a depth role. Some may thrive up in the top, Ty Pettigrew. But anyways, you may be wondering why I'm wearing a Boston University hoodie. It doesn't really mean anything in the video. Just ignore it for now. But my regiment stuff's packed away for possible evacuation. But I'm not at issue to talk about that. So let's talk hockey. The first line I have for the Newfoundland Regiment, let's just get started right off with it. I have newly additioned Justin LaRose playing on the left wing. LaRose is a guy that I could see being an immediate impact for the Newfoundland Regiment. Also, by the way, I do not have stats for these players. I didn't have enough room for notes, so I'll just talk kind of from the top of my head. But LaRose is a goal scorer, and he's a guy that can bury the biscuit for sure. And as a center, he has his playmaker with him, and a bit of a two-way in him as well. I have Louis Francois Belanger. What a great name. But anyways, Belanger played last year for the T10, and he didn't play too bad. Obviously, he's going to be drafted this year into the NHL, possibly actually. But he didn't play for the Hlinka Gretzky Cup team that's going on right now. But Belanger, he's an interesting piece for this Newfoundland Regiment squad. Don't be surprised to see him become a fan favorite next year because he's a skilled winger that can go out the ice, score a goal here and there, but is mainly known for his two-way and playmaking games. And then on their right wing, I have the enforcer, you can maybe say power forward. And that's usually how it works. You look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, for example, you used to have Mitch Marner as a playmaker, Austin Matthews goal scorer, Matthew Nyes as the power forward. And here's the power forward in Dawson Sharkey. I've talked a lot about him on this channel before the chance that the regiment are coming here, which they are. But Sharkey is going to be probably my favorite player. I'm going to be quite honest with you on the regiment. He's just got that Brad Marchand game in him. Just that FU game, you could say. But Sharkey is a guy that can drop the gloves, stand up for his teammates, and make sure that other team has a hard time playing against this Newfoundland Regiment team. So yeah, first line, LaRose, Belanger, and Sharkey. What do you think about that? Honestly, I really like it. I think there's a lot of skill, but there's a lot of toughness on it as well. This could thrive as a depth line, like fourth line or something like that, because just how big and strong they could possibly be. I mean, LaRose is a smaller forward, but that's all you could do, I guess. But then, as the second line, I have Blake Pilgrim Edwards playing on that line. So, yeah, so it's a bit of a two-way speedy line as well. I got Matthew St. Ange playing on that line as well on the center spot. Pilgrim Edwards is the left wing. St. Ange played last year for the T10, really good defensively. I could easily see him on the PK. He's probably one of the better defensive prospects that I've heard from in the QMJHL. So watch out for St. Ange. And then you got a bit of speediness and goal scoring on the right wing, as it's Maddox Marmaluk, who I'm actually quite excited to watch. I haven't talked about him much on the channel, but he also is an NCAA commit. Wears number 98, so maybe he'll play like Bedard if he wears that number. I don't know if he'll wear it for the regiment. Maybe he'll switch it. But Marmalik is going to be a piece that I really think could be a good player for this Newfoundland Regiment squad. May not be like a fan favorite, but a guy that you know can bear the biscuit every night. Almost like Isaac Johnson for the Newfoundland Growlers type of player. And then on the third line, we have a bit of rookie. We have a rookie in this lineup. Liam Arsenault isn't the rookie, but he will be on this third line as the left wing. Arsenault is a pretty intriguing prospect. Was drafted pretty high by the T10, but last year only put up 18 points in like 55, 56 games. So Arsenault will be an interesting piece. I'm not sure how well he'll do with this Newfoundland Regiment squad, but I feel like the third line would suit him well. Definitely with the players he's playing with. But I could definitely see him having a pretty good, solid season. I mean, he's getting drafted soon. I think it's not this upcoming draft, but the draft after that. So yeah, watch out for Liam Arsenault because I could see him being a pretty intriguing piece for this regiment squad. And then we just talked about St. Ange on how he's a really good two-way forward. Here's another really good two-way forward in Tyson Gogan. Got traded to the T10 from Rimouski, I think last season actually, in the trade for Matisse Langevin. I may be wrong about that, but I do remember that he did play for the Oceanic and then went to the T10, I think last season, may have been the season prior. But Gogan is a really good two-way forward. Will probably be on the first PK. I could definitely see that first PK being Gogan and St. Ange, just on how skilled and great two-way game they have. Gogan as a third line center, I could see him thriving in that role. And if a guy like St. Ange or Belanger gets injured, you could definitely put him up in the lineup. Not too shabby about that. He should be a pretty reliable piece for this regiment squad. And then on the right wing, I have hometown boy Ben Vitch making the team. I know that there are a few people that didn't expect, don't really know if he'll be on the team or not, but he just signed a contract yesterday with the Newfoundland Regiment. So if that is the case, well, it is, I could definitely see him being on the team next year. And I don't see him getting like Sharky numbers, like high up in the lineup, just scoring. He does have a Matthew Tkachuk game. Most people know that already. Definitely wanting to get into the middle of the scrum and just causing chaos for the other team, or for our team actually. But Vitch, I'm excited to watch him play. I'm quite intrigued with the way he plays. 15 years old as well. Now I'm actually 15, so maybe I could try out for the regiment. Gordy Dwyer, if you're watching this, maybe, I don't know. Anyways, back to that line. Yeah, rookie Ben Vitch will bring a high offense to that line where Arsenault and Gogan may not bring that much of offense. They will put up numbers, but I don't know how much they will put up. And then on the fourth line, we have a bit of an energy checking line, and usually that's the way it fits for a QMJHL, maybe fourth line. On the left wing, we have newly drafted CHL import draft, Marek Danicek, playing on left wing. I'm really excited to watch Danicek play. I know I'm probably saying that for like every player, but this one truly, Danicek scored an amazing goal last season in his U20 league over in Czechia. So it's going to be really nice to watch him play. I'm not sure how well he'll do. Maybe like a 30-point season, 20-point season, somewhere in there. I can't really see him going up higher than that, or really lower. I mean, I don't really expect him to have a horrible season, but just a mid-season for Danicek, I could see. And he is a pretty good energy forward, brings a good two-way game to his game. And yeah, Danicek, watch out for him. The next player on fourth line center, we have Maverick Brunet. I really like that last name. It just rolls off the tongue a little bit. But Brunet played last year for the T10. Only played in like 30 odd games, I think. Only put up 11 points in those games. So Brunet, fourth line center, could happen, could not. Somebody could beat him out of the lineup. But yeah, Brunet, I could see him being pretty solid fourth liner for the regiment squad. And then on the right wing, I have also CHL import draft, Alexei Zhukov, from Russia. And I really think he will make the team, because if he doesn't make the team, well, he's just never going to be a Newfoundland Regiment, because he's committed to Providence College next year. So yeah, Zhukov, I could definitely see making the team, whether it's on the fourth line, third line, second line. You get the hint. I could definitely see Zhukov making the team, because this is his only shot to make the QMJHL. So yeah, those are the lines. I'll reread it for you guys. We got Justin LaRose, Louis Francois Belanger, and Dawson Sharkey at the first line, Blake Pilgrim Edwards, Matthew St. Ange, and Maddox Marmalik as the second line, Liam Arsenault, Tyson Gogan, and Benjamin Vitch as the third line. And then as the fourth line, we have Marek Danicek, Maverick Brunet, and Alexei Zhukov. And now, you may be wondering, Drew, you may be asking me, where is Dominic Pelote, who was traded to the regiment from the Oceanic? Well, this is my prediction for the opening night lineup. I'm not quite sure if Pelote will be on the opening night lineup. The regiment obviously released their training camp kind of their schedule. Their schedule for the preseason games and the preseason roster. Pelote will not be playing in much of those preseason games because he is injured. At least that's what it says on their website. So I don't know what the injury is. It could be out for like half the season, could be out for the full season, could just be out for training camp, and he could be back on the home opener. But I just felt like it was too much of a risk to put him in the lineup when he may just not be playing in the home opener. So maybe Pelote could be in the lineup for the home opener, could take out a guy like Brunet or like Zhukov or Arsenault or someone like that. But yeah, Pelote will not be on the opening night lineup in my roster, at least. And now we go to the honorable mentions. The players that didn't crack the lineup that I have for opening night that I definitely think could be on the team. That's Leo Gauthier as the first guy. Played only 17 games for the T10 last year and only put up 1 assist in those 17 games. Gauthier is a draft eligible prospect for the NHL draft, this upcoming draft. So if the T10 want to give him a shot in the NHL, you're going to want to have him in your lineup. I don't really see him making the lineup because I just see Gauthier being a really skilled forward. He was over point per game in his club team this year. So yeah, I just don't really see Gauthier making the team based on some other guys that I have that are more so suited for those depth roles aside from Gauthier. And then I have Tyler Wood as well. Tyler Wood played a decent amount last year for the T10 in their final game in the franchise's history. He was their fourth line center. So I could definitely see him getting a few games this season, maybe like 20 or 10 or 15 or in that realm. I mean, a player could get injured, and then he could come in and play a pretty reliable role because he could play a depth role. You saw it in the playoffs from the T10. Wood is a really good depth player. Don't really know if he'll be high in the lineup though. So only time can tell if he plays this season, or he will play some games, of course, but just how many is the question. And then the next one, we have possible rookie, Fenwick McLean, that I didn't have making the lineup. I just feel like McLean's a little too young, and yes, Vitch is 15, but I just feel like Vitch is a overall better skilled-wise forward in a better depth role, either than instead of McLean. I could obviously definitely see him on the lineup next year's home opener if we have a team next year. But McLean obviously could be a really, really good player for the regiment in a couple of years' time. Only time could tell about that one. Next player, Lyndon Larson. Played a bit this year for the T10, got signed like halfway through the season around Christmas time, and played pretty well in his games played. Larson could be play a few games in similar style of Wood, could be a more so depth guy. And then the last player, and I know there's going to be people watching this video that are going to be really upset about this one. I don't have Ty Pettigrew making the team. I just don't think he's made for the QMJHL. I'm just going to say that right here. Next year, he'll probably be in Amherst. That's my guess. He was drafted there in the MHL draft. Pettigrew, I don't know. He's a guy that could thrive in a top 6 role, but the T10 didn't really give him that opportunity. And you saw him in the Canada games, maybe. But he was one of the top scorers, point getters for Team Newfoundland and in the whole tournament. So Pettigrew, I don't have making the team. I have him going to Amherst and playing with the Ramblers next season in Junior A. So those were all my honorable mentions. Obviously, there are way more forwards that are in training camp that just didn't get mentioned because I don't really see any of them making the team this season at least, maybe next season here and there. But just a quick recap on what those lines could bring to you come opening night. Line 1, I put down a top scoring threat. Obviously, LaRose put up a lot of goals last season and the season prior. Belanger could obviously feed him the puck, and Sharkey can just crush guys on the ice. And then on the second line, we have two-way line, but also speedy. I mean, Marmulik will bring that speed to the regiment squad. St. Ange and Pilgrim Edwards are most known for the two-way game, but Marmulik could definitely bring a bit of life into that line on the offensive side. And then line 3, I have rookie Vitch brings offense to this line. Similar to Marmulik's line, there isn't much offense yet. They have Arsenault go again, who didn't put up too much points last year. Obviously, I said Arsenault had 18. Maybe it could go up the season, same thing for Gogan. But I just have Vitch carrying that line on offense, in my opinion. And then as the fourth line, we have an energy checking line with Danacek, Brunet, and Zhukov. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Danacek, definitely great two-way forward. Brunet, I'm not too familiar with that. I mean, I didn't talk about him much, so you probably knew already. But then Zhukov, a big Russian player, so if he's Russian, he wants to drop the gloves here and there. So, I mean, that fourth line could be a good energy line. And I want to talk about Dominic Pelote for a quick second on his impact. I could definitely see him going up to play on that Marmalik line, bring a bit of life there, maybe replace a guy like Pilgrim Edwards. Pilgrim Edwards will still be in the lineup, just down more lower in the lineup, third, fourth line. So yeah, I think Pelote will have a high impact on this team. I mean, there's a reason they traded for him first of all. But yeah, Pelote, I could see him being a really good player this year for the regiment, depending on how many games he plays, of course. And then the youth I wanted to talk about. Obviously, Vitch, McLean, Larson. I believe Wood didn't play too much games last year for the T10. So yeah, they're a young team. So obviously, you could see them contending for a Memorial Cup not only this season but seasons to come, because they just have a bunch of players who will be back next season, and then a bunch that won't be back. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle things and how Gordon Dwyer has his plans for the opening night roster. I may be completely off with my prediction. That's just who I see up in the lineup and lower in the lineup. I did do a bit of studying on how Dwyer does his lines. But yeah, I may just be wrong for the home opener. That's usually the way it goes, but only time could tell what happens, of course. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you could like this video. You can subscribe if you really liked it. We're on the road to 300 subscribers, of course. So I'd really appreciate a subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Just to hit the goal of 300. Trying to hit it before the regiment season starts. So if you could, I would really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess we're easing in on 300. And the regiment season. I say this in every video. But the regiment season is literally coming in I think it's 5 days now. Till the regiment come. Well, they don't come here, but they do play in Fredericton, New Brunswick, I believe, at the Willie Arena, I believe it's called. We'll be tuning into those games. I mean, maybe it'll be on Flow, and I don't think I'm going to get Flow this year, just because it's just terrible and laggy. I don't really want to say that, but about Flow, because it is a streaming network. But I just don't think I'll be getting it. But yeah, maybe the games will be on YouTube and I'll watch it there. But anyways, that's it for today, you guys. And I'll talk to you all again in the next video. And I'm not sure what the next video will be. Leave a comment if you have a suggestion. I may just go right into training camp, and when training camp starts, I will be discussing their lines and how Gordon Dwyer uses them, and just to get a good look on this regiment team before September 18th comes. That's it for today's video, guys. Finally. And I'll talk to you all again in the next one.